Yo, thanks for popping in, guys. Get situated. We'll get started here in a sec. Yo, welcome in, guys. Good to see you guys in. Hope you guys are having a good Friday night. Thanks for hanging out with me, your boy, the FloppingGroper. And yeah, good evening. What's up to you guys? Clate the Great, Anthony T, Jason Marino. Good to see you in, Jason, man. Shadeweed, Gazgano, Chase Hughes. Awesome, man. So this is going to be my last stream, I think, until July 1st, because I'm going to be in Florida for over a week. And I have been, like, ironclad, super disciplined with these streams, so I think I do deserve a break, even though it doesn't feel natural to take a break from doing this. But maybe I'll do, like, some beach TA videos or something and kind of just mix it up a bit. But, like, I just simply won't be home for, like, the remainder of June, so I figured I'd take some time off of the lives. And, yeah, man, I gotta get out of this city and refresh my brain and shit, man. So I'm gonna be recharging at the beach, still keeping everybody updated in stuff, but I'll be supporting my boy Kai Stewart in his fight. Potentially, maybe flying to Atlanta, because there's a lot of, like, crypto people in Atlanta, so I don't know, man. I'm gonna just be pulling shit out my ass, man, while I'm there. I might go meet Evan Aldo or something, so if you're watching this, Evan, I'm coming for you, bro. But so Bitcoin, you know, we fell under. I was thinking that this was a decent long, you know, like a decent long idea here at this level, because, you know, we had a web of like 3 really important VWAPs that we were still nesting on top of. We had that all-time high VWAP, we had the Q2 VWAP and the May VWAP, but we have slipped below. So, you know, there is a little bit of evidence that this could be a fake out. So on the 6 hour, I actually see a bull div. I actually see that the momentum wave has created a higher low and the price has created a lower low. So, you know, I like, there's a hopeful side of me that's like, you know, this is kind of just a fake out here. And what's interesting is we're being held up by my FG push-up line. This is a line, the yellow line here is placed on February 13th, the day that I started my push-up challenge. And so anybody who's saying that this is a fake out and this is the bottom and any bears are stupid and retarded, you're basically pumping off of my push-up line from the day that I started my challenge. So I hope you're right. You know, I hope that this is a fake out. I hope that we can continue to cling to this important web of old support, now currently resistance, and at least make our way up to the June anchor. You know, so I put a line on July here. This is going to be July 1st when we get our new July anchor. And it's tough to make a call looking at this, like what the rest of June is going to look like. Like, you know, this anchor could just simply come down and, like, you know, we do some shit like this and we play down to the bottom of these ranges. You know, and we just kind of continue going on with this, like, June is shitty kind of thing. Or this could be a bottom and we could just kind of, like, go back up to the highs by the end of July. It's kind of mixed, bro, because we're above the VWAPs. Like, overall we're kind of like in this like posture. We're still up here at the top of the range, so it's honestly a tough call for me, guys. But overall the sellers are in control because we're under our current month's anchor, and we are, you know, the price currently is slipped underneath these very important supports that we really need to hold. So, you know, and you also do have a double top here, and MC is just not looking that hot. Like, you have the daily narrative still playing out. Who's to say this is the only wave that we need to see? You know, maybe this is like a larger wave formation of multiple waves, and like it's just a larger downtrend. The 3-day is still freshly bearish with money flow pouring out. I mean, look at the weekly, guys. It's still, the red dot is basically only just now like confirmed. So a lot of bearish signs, you know. So I'd say that calling for the bottoms of these VWAP ranges, like, you know, like a correction from maybe we do pump up and we confirm the June anchor as resistance again, and then we dump down to like maybe the poop line, which is like the VWAP placed at the yearly low, right? That would be a really nice level to come down and find some support at. If we didn't find support there, the year to date could still hold us up to. But I definitely feel like Bitcoin does want to come down at this point. It wants to come down to either the poop line or the year to date. So it wants to go to either, you know, like 63,200 or as low as 60,800 area. So kind of smells like shit, you know, not gonna lie. So what Bitcoin would have to do for me to be really bullish on it again is it would have to come over the June anchor. So it has to pump quite substantially. It has to go over like 69k for me to get like super bullish on it. But if we were to just come over the all-time high VWAP, this orange VWAP here at 66,851, I would feel a lot better, man. I would feel a lot. I wouldn't be thinking about the bottom of the ranges. I would be thinking more about, you know, a long play up to the June anchor, and then we see how we're feeling at that point. So an important level, if it is a fake out, you know, a short-term or medium-term fake out, we really got to come over 66,851. Otherwise, you know, like, we're going to take this at face value and just say that we've lost some critical support, and we do want to come down to either the poop line, which is the VWAP of the year-to-date low, or the purple line, which is our year-to-date VWAP there. Let's see. Clate the Great says FG's about to be on his city boy shit. I'm actually not even going to Miami. I'm going to Hollywood, Florida, so I don't know like how it's different, but I don't want to be in the city, man. I actually just want to enjoy the beach and soak up some sun, cut some weight, eat some good food, do a little bit of networking. It's going to be a good time, and I'm going to have the markets in mind the entire time. I think my style of content is going to be little video TA updates for you guys. So also, I'm going to take a break on the training vlogs on my channel. So I've been posting like a training vlog, like full workouts, so that you guys see like the actual hard work that I've been putting in. Just to kind of, I've been setting like an example of like, you know, just like the hard training and stuff. And it's kind of been this hybrid channel of like training vlogs and TA and stuff. But I'm going to take a break on the long training vlog since I'll be on vacation. but I'll still be doing the push-up challenge like in short form content. So kind of liberating myself from that content expectation as well. But so yeah, Bitcoin kind of in the doldrums, but still a chance of fake out. I would say that we're still at the point where, you know, tomorrow or something, if we do come back over the all-time high VWAP, the orange line here, it's likely we do make that play, the long play that I had yesterday. It's likely we do make that play up to the June anchor. Then we'd have to see where it goes from there. So let's look at Ethereum here. I haven't even really looked at Ethereum too much today, just Bitcoin. But let's see. To me, it seems like we still want to make that play up to the June anchor. Like I'm looking on the daily here. I see a wave about to curve. I see the yellow oscillator aiming up. Yeah, I mean, even on the 8 hour, you see the blue waves have reclaimed over the -60 line. And so this looks like good bounceability. It looks like we get like a 4.4% bounce on ETH here. Potential. I like the candle wick strength here. It is possible. You see like bull div, right? You see like waves coming up, price coming down here. You have all the structure and justification you need for a trade up to at least the June anchor. So maybe this is a little bit of evidence that Bitcoin could just be having a little bit of a fake out. If Ethereum is looking, the Ethereum chart's looking quite nice. That being said, if Ethereum slips under 3,465, it's currently at 3,500. So we're just barely clinging, right? We're super duper clinging. But if we slip under 3,465 again, then I guess things could turn around. But right now it looks okay in the short term. Still in the doldrums in like the big picture because we're under that June anchor. And if we do look at the bigger time frames, you see like, let's see, on the daily, the money flow is pouring out, right? You have a pretty much flat top, like a double top here, even though the waves have poured out on the 2-day. And the weekly looks very similar to Bitcoin, where you have this just not an impressive wave whatsoever. And so yeah, the big picture here is a little bit concerning for Bitcoin and ETH, therefore pretty much all cryptos. Solano equally looking shitty. It's at points like this, looking at NickCipher, where the indicator, you just got to remember that the indicators don't lie. Like in hindsight, we will look back and be like, you know, this shit did play out. We won't know the extent of it. We don't know the magnitude. All we know is the direction. We know what direction it's headed. We know who's in control. The bears are in control overall. This bonk chart looking like shit. Brett getting its first red candle in a long time. That's definitely a sign of at least sideways. I mean, at least the party's at least over on that shit for the time being. I don't know why I'm looking at Cardano right now, bro. Ew, brother. But yeah, the total crypto market cap lost its May anchor, and now it's slipping below. So now you're like wondering like what kind of major supports we fall down to. Maybe it has to come back and test its year to date of our total market cap. Maybe we dump down to 2.234 trillion or something like that. But right now it's like that's kind of just where we're headed. It just like looks like we're on our way down, and the crypto market's getting kind of crunched a little bit. The shit coins, the Shiba Inus, the shit coins are looking a little concerning, man. Render here looking double toppy, you know. It's like maybe if we get some good candle strength, wave turns around, like I'll change my tune, but this looks pretty gnarly, bro. Plate the Great says, what's my thoughts on AVAX, man? Sure, I'll take a peek at the AVAX for you. I don't mind weaving in some some altcoin analysis today since it's my last stream. But let's see. AVAX on its way down on the weekly. Pulling into these VWAP ranges here. If we lose this $31 level though, man, it's terrible. It's terrible. We really got to hold here. That's pretty much my thoughts on that. A lot of cryptos are kind of on the cusp, right? Just like how Bitcoin is on the cusp of its bullish structure. I would say that most of these altcoins are on the cusp. They're all basically clinging to life on some... I had to go back in time fishing for VWAP support at old, like, lifetime lows on a lot of shitcoins. And so they could hold those levels, but when you start falling back, you know, when the trenches start getting pushed back, that's, like, not a good sign. Pepe here, you know, I do see some good candle strength off of this May anchor here. Pepe... almost looking like ETH on steroids, where it's like it wants to make that play off the May anchor and potentially go up to its June anchor here, which is not a small move in the slightest. The only thing is that, you know, you're in that June downtrend. You got the downtrend of the all-time high on Pepe. There's a big web of resistance here, and so, you know, it's like you look at the weekly on Pepe and look at it. It's quite divergent. Red dot aiming down, yellow oscillator aiming down. And so if I had to make a guess as to like how this is going to play out, it's like, yes, we do come up here, but we face issues up here. We face issues up here, and overall the crypto market doesn't look that good. I hope things turn up, but at the same time, if the crypto markets have to take a dip, a substantial dip, first of all, I would not even remotely panic unless we lost the year to date. I would still pretty much be in this kind of like sideways up kind of bias until we slip below the year to date. And then I would have to flip kind of like mega bearish. If we lost the year to date, now I'm flirting with the idea of Bitcoin having a bad year, since we would then be under the year to date and our VWAPs would be aiming down. So then I would be looking at some much deeper targets. Like, I mean, there's some gnarly targets that I'm not ready to like really, entertain just yet. But I will talk about them just because it's cool. It's interesting, right? Like if you place VWAPs at the COVID low and the bear market lows, that has some convergent support for us down at about $40,000. And if you look at the yearly open, the yearly candle opened at $42,000. So in that scenario, in a scenario where like that shit happens and we make a play down to this support here, we basically will have erased the entire year of progress, and like the yearly candle will look stupid. It'll look like all squished like an Oompa Loompa, and it'll just be like the most hilarious yearly candle ever. And it will have spat in the face of like everything every crypto influencer has been saying this whole time, and everyone will pretty much just have egg in their face, and the public will hate everyone and call everyone clowns, and it's almost so hilarious that it might happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny, man. But also, like, if we did have to come down there on the macro, that would be like a larger cup and handle. Like, some people are saying like this is a cup and we already have the handle, but this is, have you ever seen a teacup look like that? No. A real cup and handle on Bitcoin would have some sort of like shape like this, where it's like it's a large cup with what seems like a large handle, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. It just kind of looks like, this kind of, you would just be like this kind of shape. It would still look really good. So if these markets did get mega trolled, as Anthony T is saying in the chat, if we got super trolled, we would know why. It's because like our monthlies looked like shit. The NickCipher B weekly. This is a weekly that really runs my bias, and it's looking dreadful. Looking dreadful. And also, you know, at this point in time, back in April when Bitcoin lost the 60, like the plus 60 momentum, I did consider like exiting the markets just like last time. In the markets back here on the weekly when we lost that 60 line, I sold all my crypto and I avoided like quite a large iceberg. Now we did rally up higher and I missed this shit, right? So I missed, you know, the run wasn't over technically. There was like a higher high, but it's like I dodged this major bullet by trusting in that sign of the waves losing the 60 line. And so for us to lose this 60 line is relevant. I did sell my brother some Bitcoin. I'm like my bro's OTC desk, but that's just because like I had, like there's some things I want to get, things I want to pay for, sponsorships and taxes and like all these things. So I did have to sell some Bitcoin, just because kind of thing, not because I really wanted to, but I felt like with this weekly chart, it probably wasn't the worst time to do it anyways. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at with the Bitcoin holding. As for alts, what I have done is I've shaved a lot of alts and I've put it into it like my trading account. And so I want to increase the size of my trading account in Tether, right? So that I can make plays without having to deal with a worst case scenario going on in these charts. Like if the crypto markets have to take a huge shit, it's not taking me down with it. So right now, like the majority of my holdings are in like Bitcoin, ETH, and I gotta like my altcoins, I still have them, but I reduced them down like 80%, and I took most of that money and I put it into my USDT perpetual trading account so I can make bigger plays on my leapfrog strategy and just be in more control of my finances. Because right now the altcoin market is looking a little shaky. I don't necessarily want to buy the dips on altcoins. I just want to buy strength. I want to just like pick the winners and just buy strength. Like that's where I'm at with this shit. I want to see shit over VWAPs. I want to see shit looking strong. Otherwise, get the fuck out of here. Get out of my life. Get out of my portfolio type shit. I would rather just call myself a trader at that point. Not a trader with a T, a trader with a D. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, like there's one coin that I'll be evangelistic about, and that is Bitcoin. But I've already made that mistake in my life of like clutching shit coins to the doldrums. I've already lost 5 figures on Verge when I started my trading career. And so these are lessons. You know, it's like we are traders first. See yourself as a trader first before anything else. Yeah. Man Bear Pig says space. I definitely think that there is some space below us, bro. Man, look at the space. We got space down there, bro. Any chart recommendations you guys want me to go over? Let's check these flows here. So, check out the flows. The flows were negative. What's the date on this? June 10th. What the hell's going on here, man? They're like throttling the data. So we don't know what's going on. I need to get better data on these flows, man. If anyone has a good source for the ETF flows, that would be nice. Yeah, we could take a look at some stonks. Silosis, good to see you in the chat, bro. Man, Nvidia, bro. Holy smokes. So, Nvidia, monthly chart, over the 60 line, runaway train. Money flow picking up. Oh my gosh, dude, that is just nonsensical, man. Let me try and put some I'm gonna slap some volatility bands here and see like where we're at in terms of like. First of all, I want to put one at this low. This is like a really relevant low, but then we'll just like look at the month. So let's see what happens if we click band 3 multiplier here. So in terms of this technical price low, it does show Nvidia has a little bit more upside, about 10.5% more upside here before you get like throttled on the top of that volatility band. So I do like it's looking quite strong. If we do it on the month of June, we're a little bit stretched already in the month of June, I would say. We've already kind of come up here and banged our head. I would be cautious about like the middle time frames losing the 60 line, but man, we're up there, bro. Look at this momentum, man, just staying above the 60. I would say that as long as Nvidia like stays above the 60, it's in a really strong position. You got like knives to the upside, and you could pretty much just be long on Nvidia until the weekly wave like loses the 60 line, like, you know, like basically something that like happened over here or over here. But you see like when it loses the 60 line or it's about to, then it either goes boring or down. So Nvidia is pretty much safe until it starts aiming toward the 60 line. Right now it hasn't done that yet. Daily still looking strong. All in says I can't buy parabolic moves. Yeah, it's tough for me too, man. It's tough for me to say like, yeah, sure, just jump into this shit. Like I like seeing strength. I was just talking about how I like buying into momentum and strength, but I like buying strength like with a bounce off of the critical VWAP, right? Like it would have been nice to get some Nvidia down at the June anchor, but now that you're off in La La Land, it's just kind of like you're just watching everyone else have fun. Rye Guy is a fly guy said, dude, I nailed the all-time high Bitcoin short at the AVWAP. Good for you, man. Yeah, that's awesome, bro. So let's see the all-time high Bitcoin short. Was it the all-time high VWAP that you shorted down, and so now you're in like a short right now, or did you short from the high? That would be sick if you. Either way, good job, bro. And the VWAPs have been like a really good dynamic support resistance for us. Man, bear, pig. Is when long a coin, bro? Or are you just saying like when long? Silosa says savage uptrend. Yeah, dude, that Nvidia chart, man, that is absolutely brutal, man. Just leaving people in the dust. But you know, we had opportunities on the June anchor to get in here. It's not like Nvidia doesn't come down and doesn't give opportunities. So it's like you definitely want to wait for a wave reading, like you saw like on the 65-minute. You know, the waves come down, you get a green dot that's lower than the previous, but the price was higher. And you get a nice little bounce off the June anchor. And it just plays out because Nvidia is so bullish, right? So, I would say just be patient on Nvidia for fresh opportunities. Maybe next month. You know, July is not far away already. It's crazy how fast this month is going by. But, like, you slap, you know, a line on July, and you say, you know what, like, you know, there will probably be a big short or re-entries into longs or something around that July point. You know, you slap a new monthly anchor and there's a fresh month of opportunities. So big things are coming for Nvidia if you trade this stock. I would say right now it's just kind of a bunch of schlongers taking profits at this point. Interestingly enough, Bitcoin dominance on our 1 hour chart, I see it pouring down. Let's see the daily here. Dominance creating lower highs. Money flow seeming to pour out. Momentum does seem to be kind of tapering down a bit. Look at that tapering of the momentum. And then also the money flow seems to be kind of in a slight downtrend. Maybe like potentially peaked there. I wouldn't be surprised if the dominance, not that it's like shit canned, but that it just has to maybe come down. And you see these like lifetime VWAPs here. There's one at the onset. There's one at that low in dominance here. I think it's likely that this tapers off and we get an eventual correction down to this dominance level here. You know, these VWAPs down here at like 52, 53%. Oh, right, I got you, bro. The anchored at 66,747. Nice, man. Glad you hit that short. Silosis asks, what's the difference between trading pairs like USD, Bitcoin, or Sol BTC or ETH BTC? Is it easier to trade USD pairs or crypto pairs? I wouldn't say it's inherently easier or more difficult. Just historically, like with crypto pairs, that influences my portfolio decisions and like my coin swaps, whereas the USD pairs affect my leverage positions and my USDT perpetual swap trading and stuff like that, right? Like there was points where Link super trended on ETH, so I swapped a bunch of ETH into Link, and over the next like 4 months, like I made a lot of money, and it started going down on me, so I had to pull out, and like I swapped back to Ethereum. So like moves like that are really cool. Like you can make a lot of money just paying attention to your pairs. Like how's Binance Coin doing in relation to Bitcoin, or how's ETH doing in relation to Bitcoin? It tells a lot when you look at the Bitcoin dominance, and then you look at like the ETH BTC chart. Where is my ETH BTC chart? These charts can really tell you a lot, man, because, you know, especially, you know, holding a bunch of shit coins instead of just holding Ethereum, it can be a big mistake if Ethereum is like trending on those shit coins. Like you're basically just giving those projects your Ethereum, and they're taking your Ethereum value, and they're making money with your Ethereum, and you're holding their shitcoin project. Jay asks, where's your voice inflection? Do I have a voice inflection, bro? Maybe I'm like feeling a little, I just like woke up, man, and I didn't drink any coffee, so I am a little drowsy right now. And it's my last stream in a while, and I thought I would be more peppy, but honestly, I'm like a little sad that I made this decision. Like I might have to stream or something, like do a surprise stream while I'm in Florida, because it feels a little weird going a whole 2 weeks without doing this, because we've been at this shit for months, been in here in the trenches with you guys like every night. Zed Karmut says, question on MC, some graphs like the treasury bond yields are in percentages, so does the NickCipher B money flow work with such charts? That's a good question, man. You know, I don't have a super scientific answer for that, but the question is like, it comes to volume figures, right? Like if there's a chart that doesn't have volume, then like how does the money flow work? If I had to guess, I would guess that the money flow wave, the MFI, if it has a volume reading of 0 or non-existent, it still propagates a line. It still exists. Whereas like perhaps a VWAP, like if I placed a VWAP, it's not working. So I'm not really sure, like personally. Like I wish I had like a better answer for you, but you know, like a VWAP, if there's no volume data, it's just like and it airs out. Whereas the money flow still at least gives you something. So I'm not sure, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've wondered that too. But it is a money flow. It is an MFI, which is a volume weighted oscillator. So I'm assuming if you're dealing with a percentage thing like dominance or COVID cases or whatever the hell, like it's just giving you the part of the equation without that component. Silosis says, you think stocks like BRKB are manipulated? I don't even know what this is, bro. Oh, Berkshire Hathaway got you. I'd say blaming manipulation, blaming things outside of our control, not the best or smartest take. I see momentum here on the weekly on Berkshire Hathaway, like lost the 60 line. So if it dumps, it's not like random manipulation. It's like we lost the 60 line on the weekly and now it's bearish. You know, the RSIs were at 98 and now they're tapering off and now we've lost the 88 level, and it's like it's the market momentum, the bullish momentum on the weekly has died. So instead of just chalking it up to manipulation, just remember that there is still technicals at play, man. Even if the stock market's going crazy, even if a chart is dumb pumping to the moon and doing crazy shit or whatever, there's still TA going on. Silosis follow-up question says, I meant like pump-wise. Go to the monthly time frame. It has downtrends, but the uptrends go crazy. I still wouldn't chalk it up to just manipulation. It's just a really strong uptrend here. I mean, you see like it's been a momentum desert for a while. Like pretty much its entire lifespan since like 1996. There's been a void of big blue waves below the zero line, and the majority of the waves are up here above the zero line. And so the points in this asset's history where it dips below the zero line, these are your big opportunities. And it's just continued to play out. So it is a really crazy chart, a really powerful chart, a bullish chart. But nothing out of the ordinary in terms of like, oh, it's not following the rules, it's not doing what it should. Yeah. Follow the money. That's what I would say, man. Is you follow the money and the money flows green. The trigger waves are killing it, man. You know, it's I mean, it's cool to see NickCipher be when analyzing like a super pumpy stock like this. This is what it looks like when you're in an uptrend with NickCipher B. You'll see a kind of desert down here with like a scarcity of waves. The majority of the blue waves above the zero line, RSIs push to that upside. Very rarely do they even come down to like the 12 level. You know, that level 12 is like the level where you want the RSIs to like go below, and then when they cross above 12, it's like, oh, okay, the bears are losing steam, bulls are starting to pick up. That's like a leading indication of bulls picking back up again. But in this case, on the weekly, we don't even ever go down there. The bulls have just been in charge this entire time. So yeah, any other charts you guys want me to look at while I'm here? Nothing crazy, no crazy bad news, no crazy super bad news or nothing about crypto. Just seems to me like you know, the Dixie has been a little bit bullish lately, right? We've been seeing the Dixie kind of picking up and almost looking how Platinum was looking a little bit ago, like with this really nice rounding pattern. And you know, you've got like a neckline here that it seems like it wants to come up and test, and then that's also a powerful breakout if that does happen. So this is a little bit concerning, right? I switched my Dixie charts, now I can actually place VWAPs. But you place a VWAP here, and like at that low right here, see the right this low here? We're holding that steady baseline. We just got to bounce on that. If we place a VWAP at this high, this kind of tells the other half of the picture. It tells you that you know, the Dixie has some resistance, this expectation that's kind of holding it down from that high. This is definitely a level that the Dixie needs to break. We could be kind of ranging in here, actually. But if it does come over like 105, then it's kind of got a scary, bullish, rounded bottom, kind of cuppy, cup and handle kind of pattern. So when the dollar does good, that's traditionally bad for cryptos. Salosis, let's look at Tesla, man. Yeah, another Elon Musk stock I've been looking at is PayPal. I've been looking at PayPal for a long time, bro. But look, Tesla is like holding its 2019 lows VWAP here. Got some good seems like some good structure here forming. But Tesla really needs to hold over 155 bucks for the structure to hold. I mean, if we can hold over this, it's in a really nice bullish position, like with, you know, upside targets back up top, and that's a large swing. That's 130% to go back up to the high up there. This is definitely an interesting chart for me, man, because it's holding that critical support. You see on the monthly, I like what I see on the monthly. I mean, the money flow's green. The wave seems to be picking up. Yellow oscillator crossing up at a critical level here. Not so bad, man. Not so bad. We could look at Amazon. Amazon's got just like some gnarly hidden bull div. You see like this deep, super deep BitBoy green dot wave on the monthly, a monthly BitBoy green dot wave from like the early middle of last year. And that's kind of what's propelled us like to this point. But yeah, let's slap like an anchor on man, this is so much data, bro. This goes back pretty far. Honestly, the weekly's lost the 60 line. Not a good sign. The daily waves seem to be tapering out. Kind of reaching the conclusion of this money flow downtrend here already. It seems to me like the momentum waves are a bit tired. It like it needs to come down. Like the weekly is very telling. Like you lose the 60 line like that and it just doesn't look so hot. And the daily momentum is like aiming down right now. RSI is rejecting off of 84, aiming back down. I'd say that it's a pretty safe bet that it corrects down at least to this like anchor at this low from Q4 of 2023. If you place a year-to-date anchor on Amazon, it's the year-to-date's done really good at like holding Amazon up. You see these levels here? So that could be another potential support level here at 173. Yeah, All In says stock investors in the last 15 years have never known a bear market. Yeah, man, it's been the stonks, bro. The stonks have been absolutely crazy. Make sure you guys get an E-Trade account or a TD Ameritrade and just be locked in and plugged in and ready to execute on a play if you see it, right? Don't be married to one asset class. There's opportunities everywhere. So, like if the crypto space, you know, takes a big old dump and stonks are pumping, well, either way, you could short. You need to learn how to long and short. But just expose yourself to an array of opportunities. Don't be so tunnel visioned. Julia Wynn wants me to look at Solana. So Sol BTC, we got it in this like little wedge pattern here. We're at the bottom of this wedge, but it is under pretty much like all of its VWAPs here. The year to date, the Q2, all these things. So Sol BTC not showing the kind of like VWAP momentum that I would want to see to like, oh, I want to swap all my Bitcoin into Solana for some crazy play. Like it's not looking like that right now. So you know, in terms of like holding Solana over Bitcoin, meh. But if we look at the Sol chart, like to trade, I was looking at it yesterday. What was this VWAP placed at? Oh, this is our year to date. So Sol's already like approaching its year to date, and its daily looks pretty oversold already. Ugh, man, look at that. I mean, the weekly on Sol is just like, it makes you think that Sol needs to just come down and test just like its lifetime lows VWAP. That's what this weekly chart looks like. I've seen the waves on enough bull and bear cycles to know that like this is really concerning. Like, yes, we're skirting up. We're skirting on top of like some really important like yearly sentiments, right? So in that sense, we could hold this year to date. But like overall, the way things look on the weekly is like there's bigger things happening than just what's happened this year with Solana. It's about to be time for like the big picture narratives of how things ought to be to start playing out. Not just like living in this 2024 fantasy land, you know? So even though the 2024 VWAPs, like our year to date, our quarterlies, our monthlies, we're clinging in there, you know, we're hanging in there for now. I would not be shocked if we lost these levels eventually and things get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's a correction down to like a VWAP at this low or this low, like just plunging down here and just really digging in, man. Like I can totally see it happening with this weekly chart. But yeah, I mean, my mission is like, unlike previous cycles where things got sour and I withdrew and like backed off from the space entirely and like focused on other parts of my life, or I wouldn't say I buried my head in the sand, but it was just comfy for me to like just fall back, handle like operations for NickCipher, since like I'm kind of on the producer side of the trading world, and just kind of take a step back. But this time around, like, I'm a lot more plugged in. I'm a lot more like, I want to like actively short. I want to be here every day still. I want to keep getting stronger. I want to like just be a part of the entire process, up and down. So that's where I'm at with this shit in my life now. I've definitely like let the markets. I've definitely matured alongside the markets when it comes to those things. So either way, man, if this shit has to crack down, I'll be calling big plays with the VWAPs every month. We'll be shorting. We'll be getting it. Jay says, "Yikes, man! You know, market makers make your indicators show things that probably won't happen." Uh, I would say that there's like an element of truth to that in some sense, but also like the indicators play out really great in hindsight. So I wouldn't just be throwing around like the word "yikes" and like being all gay about it, bro. Because typically like the shit does play out. It's not like the indicators are just wrong. Like when Bitcoin was at its bottom here, the indicators created a higher low and the price created a lower low. So like divergences do play out. So yeah. Julia says, "Good time to have a really good look at your plan and be ready both ways." Yeah, man. If you're a trader, you got to be ready to short and long. You got to be ready to go both directions. Yeah, one thing I don't like is like the the bullying from bulltards. If you put out like bearish ideas, you get shamed, right? But it's like, it's not my opinion. It's just like what the signs are saying. So like it's telling, bro. It's a good sentiment read. You know, when you get pencil necks. Crypto Vol says, "Hey FG, I first learned your voice over your old school divergence tutorial. I'm really glad you're putting yourself out there way more." Yeah, man, it's good to be here. It's been going strong, man. I've been here since the start of the year, and just been hitting it with like just freaking like all my passion, all my energy, and I actually been loving it, man. It's been a blessing, and I've met a lot of cool people, um, been inspired by a lot of people, and then been inspiring others. Thanks for the kind words in the chat. Grays in is dead. Says NickCipher works. Just turned 1K into 100K in 3 months. Dude, I would love to hear more about how you did that, bro. That sounds like the most epic testimonial ever. Shoot me an email, man, and tell me exactly how you did that, man. My email is in the description of the video. But if you guys are curious about NickCipher, you can use my code Titanic. And despite the pencil necks in the chat, it is quite a leading indicator. Even though all TAs is lagging by definition because it's just data that's already happened. In the realm of TA, NickCipher is very leading. So, you know, people use these tools to make a shitload of money. We have a community of like 20,000 people who use MC, are happy with it. I look at MC every day. I can't read the markets without it. I just had a crazy short using it just the other day. So code Titanic 15% off on that. Got a little merch store. We got tutorials for you to like learn more about it too if you want to learn more about it. And then we also have like a whole community of educators and like influencers and artists who use MC. So you aren't alone when you use our indicators, unlike most of the things out there. So Manbear Pig says, speaking of MC leading, I want to know what you think of NickCipher on the 4-hour. I think at the start of the stream, Manbear Pig, I went over how the 4-hour is like the main time frame for evidence of a fake out, and that we could actually make a play back up to the June anchor here. So, because see, I drew this little divergence here. So the waves have created a higher low, but the price created a lower low. So that is case for a bullish bounce, despite how ugly things are looking on, not as much the daily, because this actually does look a good round out. But, you know, as you go up the time frames, like the 3-day and 4-day and 5-day and weekly all look really, really scary, right? So that's a little concerning. There's not much backup here, but the 4-hour does give that shape of a fake out, at least to like maybe the June anchor or something. Even if June continues to be a sour month for us all the way until July, maybe there is a little bounce here. And this is a really important level to hold. I mean, this is a web of the May VWAP, the quarterly VWAP, and the all-time high anchor here. I would just say that, you know, if this fails and things have to cut deeper, like, I do think that because of those larger time frames, we may eventually make that play down to the poop line or the year-to-date. Ooh, Smorl, we got someone who's new. So Smorl asked, what's the anchor tool I'm using? I'm so glad you asked, bro. Let me just go to a fresh Bitcoin chart here. So it's a volume-based indicator that's going to give you dynamic support and resistance. So you go to your drawing tools here on TradingView. You click anchored VWAP, and you want to go to the daily chart when you place these, because you want to place them on relevant days, such as like the first of the month. So I'll place one like on May here. You can see it does a volume weighted average price that starts from May 1st. So I love to place these on the monthly. You can see, you can catch these little jumps where like you get a fresh month, right? Like the month of June. And we didn't really correct down to May. It's like there's this space here that needs to fill, right? And so my most recent like big play was like a short from the June anchor down to the May anchor. And so with these VWAPs, you can find little gaps in markets. But also it allows you to tell a narrative about an asset. Like you could place a VWAP at the start of the year, that's your year to date, right? And this tells you the story of how Bitcoin's done all year. You know, the ETF hype, come down, reclaim it. Once you're over the VWAP, now we're having a good year. Bitcoin is having a really good year. And it still is having a good year until we lose that line. There's like other lessons and stuff, but I have videos on my channel about it. But like when a VWAP is sloped up, right? Like that's really important. Even if the price isn't interacting with it, an up-sloped VWAP is really relevant. Whereas a more sideways VWAP is kind of more evidence of like consolidation. But I found that anchored VWAPs are like some of the best dynamic support and resistance you could possibly use in trading. And also the intraday VWAP, which is a VWAP placed basically at the start of every day that resets every day. You can see like at midnight it resets and snaps to the price action again. This is a great indicator for like day trading or DCAing. Like if you're dollar cost averaging into an asset, you know, you want to be buying like at or below the VWAP, right? Get some like good value for yourself. You never want to like DCA that day like super high up above the intraday VWAP. So it's a good way to like chase value or even potentially enter scalps. Like you could like back in the last bull cycle, I actually like traded with this exclusively. Like I would catch little plays, you know, where like this is a great play where you're on like the 5-minute chart, you're over the VWAP, you see the price create a higher low and the wave creates a lower low. That's a hidden bullish divergence, and like sometimes you catch big moves off that shit. But VWAPs are also really good. They're not exclusive to like EMAs and MAs. Like if you pair like a 200 moving average with this shit, it can be a good combo. You know, you have like when you're in a downtrend here, you slip under both of these, you enter a short. Sometimes an EMA, you pair it with an EMA and it helps your bias too. CryptoVol says, can you show us bear market with these VWAPs? Yeah, that's a good question. Man, it's been a while since, let's see. I guess we could just, like, go back in time to, like... just up here, I guess. It is fun to look at, like, old year-to-dates and just, like, see what happened. Like, you can see that in 2022, it started off shitty. The year started off bad. And then 2022, like, the year-to-date acted as, like, a steady guide for the price. And it was kind of just undulating sideways. But eventually, like, the decision we made to fall below the year-to-date at the start of the year ended up, like, continuing down further. And so we did have a really shit year. And you can see how we literally ran from that year-to-date for pretty much the rest of the year. And then your new year-to-date is, like, here. And as soon as 2023 begins, what's the first thing we do is we run up to the previous year's year-to-date. So that's almost like a freebie play. Like, you have this big gap, right? This big reckoning. This area here that wants to be closed, wants to be filled. And so you get a new year-to-date. You start seeing the price trending on it, and it's like, damn, like, we are really going to make a play back to that 2022 VWAP. And you can, like, leave these to play out and shit, too, but... yeah, I guess what this suggests, you know, what we just went over, what that suggests is, like, at some point in 2024, it may become beneficial for us to come down to the 2023 VWAP. You know what I mean? Like, you have Pencil Necks in the chat, and you have people saying, like, oh, your indicators are wrong, your indicators are not what's really happening, all this shit. But you look historically, and, like, it just makes sense for price to fill these big gaps, right? Like, you have this big gap here, and what's likely going to actually happen is that we do come down to the previous year's VWAP, despite the Pencil Necks and their shitter opinions. So, I always look for, like VWAPs have good... They tend to leapfrog. They tend to retread back to, like, the previous period. Just because a period ended doesn't mean that that VWAP is no longer relevant. Oftentimes, it can continue to be relevant, and we tread back to that previous period before the current period really makes a decision as to what it wants to do. Zed Carmoot says, is there any hope in the Matic chart? I could say right now the weekly's not looking too hot, right? Not holding the steady baseline of our lifetime low from back in 22. Under your year to date. Kind of has a long ways to go before it really comes back and shows strength, bro. You're under a red DBSI on the daily, right? So it's a powerful downtrend. Even when there's pumps, the likelihood of it getting slammed down is pretty high. I do see on the daily a little bit of a chance of a resurgence here. You see like the money flow trending up into middle July. I like that we got like anchor, trigger, and then a spike wave, right? So you get like anchor, trigger, which is bullish. You stop everyone out. And then you do kind of have a case to run up to resistance from that point. I will say that. But, like, yeah. You may have a good swing trade here. It's just, think about the overall narrative of crypto and, like, what's going on with things. And, is Matic going to go against the grain if Bitcoin and things go bearish? Probably not. But, yeah. I tend to avoid the knife catchy longs, and, like, you don't want to be a Captain Save-A-Ho in crypto, because I've been burned doing that so many times, man. Like, you will buy a bull div under a bunch of averages, and it does not go up the way you think, is what I'm saying. Like, I would much rather buy something like back here on Matic, where, like, you see the price is able to hold, you know, but the waves come down, you get some hidden bull div, and then you come over some VWAPs, now you long, you know, and then you take profits, and then you're out, right? So it's, just be careful, man. Just be careful, knife catching the cryptos. Even though there's potentially a lot of reward, there's also a lot of risk. So keep your stops nice and tight. Control your risk. Don't just buy a bunch of Matic and just hope it goes up. Have a level where if you're wrong, if your idea is wrong, then you do pull out, type thing. But I do like the volatility. I like the upside potential of a move up to resistance here. That is nice to see, like, a whole 30% on the table there. But it's just a bit of a knife catch. Let's see. We'll do one last shitcoin. Crypto Life Inc. says thoughts on Hoppy USD. Never heard of Hoppy USD on Mexi. Daily momentum's picking up. This is kind of a baby coin. Now look at it, running on that June anchor there. Look at it go, man. Look at it go. You got a green DBSI uptrend, VWAP picking up. It's in a good bullish posture. You want to buy into the pump, though, already at a volatility band? I would not. I would not. Even the intraday had a fresh... Yeah, it's just, it's not the time to enter on Hoppy right now. If anything, it's profit-taking time. You could take half off the table, let the rest ride or something. Manbear Pig says, I like the idea of BTC melting faces with a big pump to the all-time high. You know, me too, bro. Me too, bro. I wish, I hope that we get fake out, and I hope Jesus Coin turns around, bro, and we get saved for sure. You know, I want this daily to turn around, and I certainly want things to change, right? That would be good for the majority of, like, the people in the space, because I don't want people to get wrecked. But at the same time, there's value in Bitcoin coming down to cheaper levels. Like, it's more time for the common man to get in, more time to raise awareness, more time for us to get stronger, to become better teachers, to accumulate more at lower prices. if you're just betting on this only going up, then like your head's kind of not in the right space. You should want to delve deeper into the truths of life in general. You shouldn't be afraid to take a plunge into the abyss every now and then. Gentime says, why are you coming to Florida? I'm sponsoring a fighter. I'm sponsoring Kai Stewart at his he's undefeated and so is his opponent, so I'm gonna be sponsoring him with the FloppingGroper YouTube channel on his attire. I'm gonna be on the beach recharging my battery. I'm gonna be meeting with, I might meet with Evan Aldo. I might go to Atlanta. But the thing I really want to do is I want to check out this MMA gym of this coach that I met at UFC 299. And I want to see if it feels right, and if I might want to get some coaching on that stuff and get ready for war, bro. If I ever have to fight on behalf of MC for like some crypto karate combat stuff or something. But I think that's it for me, guys. So it was a fun last stream. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll be doing some video updates on my TA, like while I'm in Florida. And I'll be on Twitter and all those things. So thanks for tuning in, guys. And you guys have a good night.